Hey guys, so I wanted to touch a couple topics about parenting. That's going to be one of my biggest subjects on my channel because I am a parent. But there are a couple things that have been bothering me lately. Actually, they've been bothering me for a while. But especially lately, I've noticed that these three things are just extremely common, have been getting to me for a while, and figured I'd say something about it, speak my opinion. And I'd love to hear you guys' opinions as well. Now, because I have a horrible memory, I have a list here. So, parenting advice that's unwanted. I talked about this in my intro and how, everybody and their mother is giving it parenting advice, whether they're already parents or they're parents to be or they've been a parent for years on end. They're going to give advice. But when does the line stop? Why does everyone feel like they have to give their advice when you're a new parent, especially when you've already been a parent before? I've been a parent to my son for 15 months now. And in the beginning, I wasn't doing it alone necessarily. I had family around, but I wasn't in a serious relationship at the time. My boyfriend and I weren't together seriously just yet. We were still dating and whatnot, and in that awkward phase. And everyone goes through awkward phases with different relationships. But, conveniently, not really conveniently, it was with my son's father. And, sorry, there's cars, or a truck going by. And it was complicated at first with me. In all ways possible, there was always complications. Everything kept getting in the way. And I appreciated the advice coming from everyone then. But at the same time, there's a fine line between giving advice and telling me what to do. And I'm a grown woman. I'm 25 years old, and my mother was helping me out a lot at the time, and she had every right to give me advice because she raised me. So obviously, my kid's going to be a lot like me because they're around me so much. And with that being said, they're not going to be the most easygoing kid. Now, I get along with everybody and their mother, like I said, but, I can be difficult at times, especially when I was a kid, and I have no filter, basically most of the time. But my kid's still my kid. He's going to be different than me. He's also a boy. So there's that. And also, when he was younger, all these different factors are a part of it. It's not just, oh, he's your kid, so he's going to be just like you. So even my mother's advice, after a while, it was just like, stop, please, everyone. If I want your advice, I'll ask it. And I did. I asked so many people about their advice. But then I'd have random strangers be like, oh, you shouldn't be buckling your kid into the carriage like that. And you shouldn't be buckling him at all. Or why don't you have him buckled? I'm like, come on, people. Can I just go about my daily life? And it's crazy. But how do you deal with that? How does everyone deal with that? I'm quite curious because I know a lot of people are getting upset about, when people are giving them advice. But in all reality, that advice might help you along the way. And you're like, I remember this random old lady was giving me advice and I don't even know who she was, but, oh my gosh, I'm so glad because now that I think about it, this is what you can do with your kid and give another person advice. It might not work for you, but it might work for one of your friends or your family members that have kids. So don't give people an attitude right off the bat just because they're giving you unsolicited parenting advice. But also, if you're a parent, and you see a young parent, just because we're young parents doesn't mean we don't know what's best for us and our child. I don't know everything, but I know my body and I know my kid. And actually, for example, yesterday during the day, actually, I had to leave my job early because I'm pregnant and there are going to be complications sometimes during pregnancy, like puking. And my boss believed that I shouldn't be there, and I believed I shouldn't be there, so I didn't stay. And with that being said, I left and I came home. I didn't go to the hospital, even though I had that feeling like maybe I should go to the hospital, but I know my body. And sometimes I know my bad habits. Sometimes I just push myself too hard. And what did I do? I came home and I rested. I made sure I got fluids into my body because I was extremely severely dehydrated. And I had been getting signs for a while, and I was trying to, go about my daily life, but add more water into my diet. Sorry, B, I'm allergic. Just trying to go and not have it affect me. And I like water, but I'm not like huge, oh my god, water and only water. So, sometimes you just don't realize that you're not drinking water. And it caught up with me yesterday, and I had to stay home for the day and rest and take a nap, and that kills me, just having to nap during the day. Oh my gosh, I'm wasting daylight hours, but I had to do it. And that's the thing. It's instinctual. If you're a good parent and your parents raise you right, like if your parents are doing a good job, they're teaching you those little things, like, how to not be dehydrated. And if you do become dehydrated, what do you do then? So those are the little things that the parents, there's the parenting advice that our parents should be giving us as young kids. So once you do become a parent, you don't have to ask for that advice. You don't have to go to the hospital for every little tiny thing. Now, mine's a little bit more severe, and maybe I should have gone to see my doctor. But I also know my body so well, and I'm a young parent. I don't have a lot of money to just go to the walk-in care or to the hospital every single time there's something wrong. I need to see if I can work it out on my own, and if not, then I go to the doctor. And there are certain cases where, like, if I have an extremely high fever, or if, like, I'm having heart issues or breathing issues, and severe vomiting or something severe, like obvious that you have to go to the hospital, or you're bleeding profusely, obviously you're going to go to the hospital. But everyone's like, oh, you should have gone to the hospital, or oh, you just need some rest. So there was all this advice, and I posted on my Facebook saying, I'm not feeling so hot, and I hate missing work, but I always push myself too hard, and instantly everyone starts giving me advice. People that I haven't talked to in a while, and we just kind of a little bit here and there comment on each other's things, or my mom, everyone's commenting advice. And it's like, it's that unsolicited advice you have to learn to deal with, but at the same time, we also need to learn how to have a filter. Like I said, I have very small filter. It's very hard for me to filter myself, but that's more like with swearing and stuff like that, and just being so honest. But we need to stop acting like we know everything. Like I said, I don't know everything, so I am going to need your advice, some people's advice, and I want to make these videos to give advice, but also to get other people's advice. So it's a common open board. But there are some people out there that are very extremely introverted, and they don't want your advice. They'll ask for it when they need it. And if they're not going to ask for it, they're probably going to ask someone else that they're a little bit closer to. No offense to you, they probably don't want to say that to you, or maybe they do say that to you, like, shut up, I don't want your advice. And some people are going to be rude, but it might just be because that's who they are. And like I was saying in my intro, I want people to be themselves and be comfortable in their own skin and be happy and love themselves for who they are. Just be better at being who they are. It's always good to change to better yourself, to better your society and the economy and your family, especially, most importantly, you and your family. And sometimes you have to be selfish. There's certain times when, like yesterday, I had to be selfish and stay home because I had to be selfish for me and my little girl that I'm carrying right now. I had to be selfish in that moment and not bring in, a day's worth of income for my son and my boyfriend. And we might struggle a little bit next week or this week because that's a whole day I missed. But my health is a little bit more important than money. And we will get through it. Everyone does. So that's that topic. The next one I wanted to talk about was, oh my goodness, advertisements. Was parenting or being a parent when you're young. So many people think that you shouldn't be a parent when you're young. And I believe that if you have the opportunity to go to college, to keep furthering your education, do it. But just because you have a kid, right after high school, or even in high school. Now, I'm not saying get pregnant in high school. No. Trust me, I'm 25 years old, and I'm mentally and emotionally, I'm like, I was shocked to have my first one. I was like, oh, I'm newly single, and, I'm dating, and I wanted to have fun with my friends and focus on my friends and have a good career, and I had goals. And then I found out I was pregnant with my son, and I was just like, what am I going to do? And everyone has that shock factor, whether they're like, oh my God, yes, or oh my God, no, or oh my God, what do I do? Either way, or any way you might react, at some point or another, you're going to have to figure out what's good for you. And I figured out how to work around it. I learned that just because I'm having a son doesn't mean I can't be me. Doesn't mean I can't hang out with my friends. I just might have to bring my kid along with me, or I might have to find a sitter, and it might just take longer for me to see my friends, and I can't see them as often, and I can't go out as often, but I can still be me. That's the thing. The other thing is losing yourself. The other topic I wanted to cover. I see so many moms, more specifically moms, but some dads, lose themselves when they become a parent. Don't lose yourself. Be you. Don't change who you are to be a parent. Unless you're like a druggie or something, like you're hardcore into heroin or cocaine or whatever. Probably should stop that, especially if you're the mother carrying the child. I would prefer that, we don't have more druggies out there and people, that still go on doing drugs while they're pregnant are causing harm to the child. I do not agree with that. But what I'm saying is, there's those big things that, yes, you might have to change, or maybe you're an alcoholic and you have, anger issues. I've dealt with alcoholics in my life quite a bit, and there's fun alcoholics and there's very laid back alcoholics, and then there's abusive alcoholics, and you have to know what type of alcoholic you are. If you are an alcoholic, admit it at least. And if you are a new parent, do something about it, change it. So, because all that money, I won't lie, I'm 25 years old, I drink when I'm not pregnant, and I'm Italian and I'm Irish, so it's going to happen. But there is a fine line between, okay, I want to be me and party and still have fun, but all that money you're putting into alcohol, you could be putting into your kid and their future and your lifestyle, and you might have to change your lifestyle a little bit, But you don't have to change it completely. You can still have your friends come over. And if they're true friends, and they truly care about you, and they love you as a person and who you are as a person, and not just for you when you're getting drunk, then they're going to want to hang out when you have that kid as well. They'll come over and still see you. And you can go see them. Or maybe they'll be friends that you'll just go hang out every once in a while. They're like, yeah, I don't mind you being a parent, and I don't mind hanging out with you and your kid every once in a while, but, I'm not a kid type of person. And that's okay. It's okay to have friends that are like, no, I'm not really into the whole kid thing, but, when you have the time for me, I'm here. And you can still talk to them and whatnot. Sorry, I'm fidgeting with my hair. The wind keeps blowing. I just see so many people lose themselves, and it's so sad. Not depressing, but sad, because I have some family members and friends that have lost themselves, and they were really fun and rambunctious and energetic, and some of them were wild, crazy girls, like my bad influence, as some would say, and other people thought I was the bad influence. It's kind of funny. And there was a time when I was quite innocent. To a point. It was my mother and I were very close, and I knew a lot more than the average elementary schooler and middle schooler. But point is, sorry, went off on a tangent. Those wild and crazy fun people, yeah, you gotta tone it down a little bit when you become a parent, because you don't want to be a bad influence on your own kid. Or maybe you do, who knows. Like, we all need those wild and crazy people out there. And my kid is so rambunctious, just like me. And he is loud and obnoxious, but he's a people person like myself. And we love people and being around people. And he falls asleep to noise, which is the best thing you can do, by the way. Don't, like, if I could give one piece of advice and, like, be, like, strangling you with this piece of advice, so to speak, like, shove it down people's throats, don't try to tiptoe around your kid, because if you do, and if you don't let there constantly be noise around them, even if it's a fan or a sound machine, or just you talking to your spouse or your other half or your friends or your mom, whoever you might have in your life with the kiddo, talk right off the bat. Make sure there's always noise around your baby, because then you won't have to tiptoe. You can still do your chores and, clean the house, and you can still play music and watch YouTube videos while they're sleeping. My kid sleeps through it all. Only time he really doesn't sleep through it is if he's watching his cartoons and I put him down for a nap, because he's just throwing food all over the place. I'm like, okay, you're not eating it, you can take a nap now. So, choking on my hair. So I put him in his crib, and then, cartoons, stupid me, I leave the cartoons on, and he doesn't want to take a nap. I'm like, click, passes out in 15 minutes sleep. Dumb Megan, come on now, think about it. But, oh my gosh, so many bees. Lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. So, my point is, my kid is a lot like me. It's good to have those rambunctious kids. It's good to have the introverts and the extroverts and all different types of people in our lives. So, just because you're living one life, a certain type of life, does not mean you need to change it unless it's a bad life and this is a bad life. Like, I'm a druggie, so I need to change. Or, I have some bad eating habits, and if you feel ashamed of your bad eating habits, you should still love yourself. You should still love yourself, even if I have bad eating habits. I won't lie. And I might not be the biggest person in the world right now, but I was severely overweight at one point, and what made me lose weight and get healthy was my son. I got pregnant with my son, and I lost a crap ton of weight. I lost 50 pounds while I was pregnant. Yeah. And my doctor said, I had that weight to lose. So it's perfectly fine. And oh my gosh, I'm almost at 20 minutes. So my point is, I'm not shaming anyone for their bad habits. Like, I still eat unhealthy. Like I just said, I just kind of got caught up in my daily life and got dehydrated, and it's extremely dangerous for me and my kid, especially being pregnant. Dehydration is a severe thing. You can pass out and faint, and you need fluids, you need water to survive. So, bad habits, we all have them, but to change who you are as a person as a whole, whether you're rambunctious, you're quiet, or whatever it might be, don't change that about you. Just try to evolve into a parent, being a good parent. And just because you have bad habits doesn't mean your kid's going to have bad habits. That's another thing. I have no filter. Yeah, I swear. A lot. Most of the time in my daily life, and it takes quite a bit for me to not swear most of the time, especially with the fact that I have a lot of guy friends. I'm going to swear around the guys. It's just who I am. And some people don't like that about me. Okay, you don't need to be a part of my life, or you just don't need to be a part of my life when I'm being rambunctious, so to speak. Like, there are some of my family members that are like, come on, Megan, cut it out. You're a parent. Yeah, so what? Just because I'm swearing doesn't mean my little sister's going to swear. My little sister has heard me swear, and she's 8 years old. And trust me, she's been through a couple of those age stages or whatever where she gets the diva attitude, and she has my diva attitude sometimes, but she does not swear. I have not heard her swear once. She's talked back, but she has not sworn. It's because I told her those are adult words. Good parenting. I'm not saying you're a bad parent just because your kid swears. Because some kids, they're going to swear whether you like it or not. But there should be consequences when they swear. That's one thing I don't believe. I don't believe a 6-year-old should have a cell phone. I also believe they shouldn't be swearing and saying the F word. Like, I actually witnessed that once. Random kid that lives up on the same road as my friend. I was like, did that kid just say that? Seriously? Oh my god, that bee will not leave me alone. Okay, on that note, I should probably finish this up. But just be you. Love who you are, and let your kid love you for who you are. Or kids. Because we need all types of people in this world. I'm not into political stuff, but that doesn't mean my kid won't. Okay, I need to go. Be you, and your kid will be themselves too. Learn to love yourself, and your kid will learn to love themselves. I hope you all have a great day. Be safe. And I say that because it is 9/11, and I want to send all my love out to those that have lost someone close to them. I have some family members that have lost some people very close to them, including my mother, who's lost some people. So I was fortunate enough to not lose anyone I know personally that I know of, and I'll be praying for you all. But I hope you guys have a wonderful day nonetheless, and try to make this a good day no matter what. Bye, guys.